Good morning, everyone. In regard to the Savannah Marie Graywind missing persons case, as I stated before, we've dedicated a lot of attention to this case, but until Wednesday, we had not yet established a criminal nexus to this case that would allow us to obtain warrants for residence and electronic devices. We were running constant surveillance and investigating several different theories regarding Savannah being held against her will and/or her unborn child being induced or removed and possibly alive. Therefore, we were careful about what we were saying or releasing in fear that a suspect or suspects may panic and dispose of them in order to get rid of incriminating evidence. We were hoping the surveillance would produce a result of the possible suspects leading us to where Savannah or her baby were. We were able to develop a criminal nexus on Wednesday, allowing us to put together warrants and a coordinated plan to take William Henry Hone and Brooke Lynn Cruz into custody yesterday at two separate locations and secure apartment number 5 at 2825 9th Street North for a forensic search pursuant to the search warrant we had obtained. The search was conducted by a specialized forensics team. As I said yesterday in my release, our entry and search found a newborn baby girl in apartment number 5 at 2825 9th Street North with Brooke Lynn Cruz. The baby girl was transported by ambulance to a medical facility where she is currently being cared for. Detective interviews with Hones and Cruz indicate the baby girl is Savannah's baby. We are doing DNA testing to confirm the identity of the baby. However, testing and results can take several days. In the interviews, when it comes to the topic of what happened to Savannah, neither Hone nor Cruz will cooperate with our investigation. Both Hone and Cruz invoked their right to counsel and refused to answer any more questions. At that point, we arrested both of them and charged them with Class A felony conspiracy to commit kidnapping. A specially trained search team has combed the area between Broadway and North University Drive and 25th Avenue North and Riviera Heights. However, there may have been areas such as garages, locked-in, fenced-in areas, or outbuildings that they could not check. We would like to ask for the public's help throughout the city on several different fronts. Please check your property, buildings, garages, outbuildings for any sign of entry or any sign of someone having been there. Landlords, please check your vacant apartments that you may have for any sign of entry or evidence that anybody has been there. If you are willing to check dumpsters, we'd ask for the public's help in doing that. However, just make sure you put the garbage back in the dumpster after you're done. We ask in doing all of this that you please respect other people's private property while you're assisting us. Also, if you have seen this Jeep belonging to the people we've arrested on either Saturday or Sunday, please call us and give us the location where you saw that Jeep. If you develop any information from doing these things or have some information, please call our tip line at First Link 701-235-7335. I am willing to answer some questions, but because this is a very active investigation right now, there may be some things I'm not able to talk about.
Chief, can you say where the male was arrested?
It was done on a traffic stop, I believe, Don, but I don't have the exact location of that. Yes.
Is there anything to suggest that this was a bad number in terms of the crowning or completion of the incident?
We're still doing some forensic examination on that to determine that. Yes, yes, sir. Sure. The first search was done by the initial officer who took the missing persons report. That was a consent search, which was allowed by, I believe it was Brooke Cruz at the time. The officer did a cursory search of the apartment looking for Savannah, did not find Savannah. The officer went back later with his supervisor, and they did another consent search. Again, did not discover anything. In the follow-up, the detective assigned to this case went and did another or a third consent search of the apartment, and again did not find anything. There is the possibility that the infant was not in the apartment, that it may have been moved to a different location. However, because of the lack of cooperation from our suspects in these interviews, that's hard to determine at this time. Yes, they're strictly visual searches. And then this fourth one with the search warrant is a complete forensic search.
This may be a stupid question, but I was asked the question by an attorney this morning, whether or not is the kidnapping charge filed, is it joint or is it filed because it's the infant or because it's Savannah? Do you have that answer?
Well, it's I think a totality of the circumstances there, Don, but that was a charge that the state's attorney advised us to use in this incident. In fact, the state's attorney is just joining us now. Yes, sir. Not that I'm aware of, and but those searches are continuing. And now we're asking for the public's help in checking their properties, any vacant apartments, and if they've seen this particular vehicle at any locations. We are following up on evidence gained from the warrants of both the residents and some electronic devices, and then targeting our searches to other areas based on the information gathered from those. At this point, I wouldn't be able to comment on that.
Is the search going to take you outside of that perimeter where you mentioned?
Well, I certainly think it has the potential to do that, Don, and that's why I said in my statement, throughout the city, if people could check on their properties, if they're willing to check dumpsters, if they've seen this Jeep anywhere, we would like their assistance on that. Yeah, yes. Well, at the risk of a kind of a grayish green, it looks like to me. Yes, they were. They did indicate on a vehicle in the back parking lot. It's somewhat of an abandoned vehicle. We did get a search warrant to search that vehicle, and we did not find anything in that vehicle. Yes?
Was the baby alone in front of the vehicle?
The baby was with one of the people that we arrested, Brooke Lynn Cruz.
So that person was taking care of the baby at that time?
Yes.
There's no abuse?
No, not that I'm aware of. Yes, ma'am.
Just for clarification, that cadaver dog, did it hit on the car in that by the brownish house in the alley that had a tarp over it?
I wasn't out there, so I couldn't tell you which car it hit on, but whatever car it hit on, we got a search warrant for it, and we thoroughly searched that car.
And did you guys tow that car away or search it after?
I'm not aware that we towed it away.
Some of the people had the warrant, obviously, so you knew you were going to go in, but they said that there was a baby crying. Is that what
No,
prompted it?
that,
Not the case.
that's a false misnomer that's out there. That is not the case, yeah. Right now, the Child Protective Services has the official custody, but the child's at the hospital. Well, that'll be determined by that agency. Through the interviews, yes. The interviews were cooperative up to that point.
This might just be a matter of the people, the family member said that the infant or baby was 2 days old. And I don't know if that was correct, incorrect. She disappeared Saturday. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how you determine that. We just would refer to it as a newborn baby girl. Yes, ma'am. We did use canines in an attempt to track Savannah early in this investigation. So that would have been early this week. The cadaver dogs were used yesterday. Yes, sir. No, they're not. We think we have the right people.
The cadaver dogs were used right in the neighborhood there. They didn't go outside the area on that river.
Not that I'm aware of, Don. I don't know if they've been used on the river or not. Is there a chance that Savannah's not in this area? There is a chance, yes. We're exploring every option, chasing down every lead.
There's cooperation lots of times between the public. We were going back thinking like we should be even volunteers turned out and everything. There's supposed, families said there's people coming from the reservation later today and that sort of thing. Are you working in tandem with them?
We will, as much as information that we have. Right now we're asking for people to check, those property areas. We're asking them to check dumpsters, but we do not have a specific direction to point people in right now. Yes. What kind of evidence was found in the car? That's not something I'm willing to release right now. Joe, would you be able to explain some of that?
So the Grand Forks connection, as I mentioned before, we have identified everyone we believe that is involved in this incident. Those individuals provided us statements, their alibis, so as a matter of doing our due diligence, we followed up. We understand that one of those individuals may have had some travels to Grand Forks, so we asked Grand Forks Police Department to assist us. We provided them with photos of the individuals that we knew were mentioned in this report. So that was just a matter of corroborating alibis, their statements, and to help narrow the investigation. Those 4 individuals, like I said, they were either to help us clear them or to help steer the investigation. So any other questions about the Grand Forks investigation? To the best of my knowledge, it helped narrow the investigation, yes.
We have some possible motives here, but I'm not willing to speak on those as of yet. Yes, sir. Well, first of all, I understand where they're coming from. It's a pretty emotional thing for them to have their daughter missing. And so I don't want to minimize their feelings in any way at all. But I will tell you that, pretty much this whole week I've had 35 detectives, 4 sergeants, 2 lieutenants, a deputy chief, patrol officers, canines, 3 aircraft, watercraft, working on this almost nonstop, sometimes 24/7. I even asked assistance from state and federal agencies and received assistance from them. So I think we are giving this due diligence, but at the same time, I'm certainly willing to listen to any concerns family has, and I don't want to minimize their emotions on this. Sure. Yeah. Well, that's the way surveillance is supposed to be. You're not supposed to see it. And actually, I would say by doing that, you jeopardize the case and possibly jeopardize the life of the child. And so that I'm not, I understand the competitive nature of the news business, but sometimes you need to ask yourselves, am I doing the right thing here? Am I pushing too far? And when we're talking about the life of a young lady and her baby, I think sometimes injecting yourself too far into a situation that may jeopardize their lives is a terrible mistake. I'm not going to say anything further on that, but you kind of know where I'm coming from there. Birch, did you want to make any comments?
I hadn't intended on offering any comments right now, but invited by the chief, I will share this. We have, and I only heard part of his comments this morning. There are two people who are in jail right now. We have been, in my office, in close communication with the police department on this matter, and we are reviewing all the information that is available right now and determining what may be appropriate as charges. At this point, we have not filed any charges. When we do think charges are appropriate for filing, we'll notify the media and let you know that. I know you all have an interest. This is a case of community interest. We'll make sure that you all have the same information at the same time when we have it to provide for you. So at this point, that's about all I can say, other than we're studying the information that's available at this point. Yes and no is the answer to that, Jim. And the answer, and what that's based in, is if you arrest somebody without a warrant for an arrest, then you have to have a probable cause determination made by a judge within 48 hours under the United States Supreme Court law. And so that doesn't necessarily say you have to file charges by that time, so let me give you an example. If tonight somebody is arrested on something completely unrelated to this, right, but a warrantless arrest, a crime is observed by police, they arrest that person, we won't get them into court until sometime on Monday, and more than 48 hours will have passed. But what we do in those situations is we obtain, through the jail, information from the arresting agency about why they're arrested and brought to jail. That information is presented to a judge over the weekend, and the judge will make a probable cause determination. But no charges may have been filed at that point. The idea is to make sure that within 48 hours, a neutral magistrate has had an opportunity to determine that it's appropriate for that person to continue to be detained. So whether we follow that process on this case or whether we file charges today, I can't answer as I'm standing here right now. We want to use the latest and greatest information available from investigators. They're working hard at it. And when we have something to announce to you all, we'll announce it to you all. We'll send out a blast fax, something like that. I think that works for most of you, doesn't it? Okay. Thank you.
So let me just finish up with this. And I know I did a little chastising there, and that's not where I want to be. But you guys are our partners in getting this information out so that we can solve this and find Savannah for the sake of her family. So I just need you to understand that sometimes because of the safety of people involved or victims, that there are things that I can't say or won't say until we have those situations secured. So just asking that you push this information to get the public to help us. And our number one goal here and all our dedicated resources are going to find Savannah and bring her home hopefully safely. Well, thank you. Sure. That was investigations and interviews from people that brought forth information, but other than that, I won't say anything further. We don't know what the condition of her welfare is. I wish we did. Thank you very much.
For First Link, the correct number is 235-7335. The chief stated it correctly. The number on the PowerPoint was wrong. So again, 701-235-7335.